already played it. I will literally buy the entire game again just so I can get this expanded content. And what it did was it made me feel like I was going home again, kind of. It's my neighborhood.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 63 of the Sandbox.Space weekly podcast. I am your host, Chris, joined as always by Baby Girl, who's taking a nap on the couch, Pumpkin, who I'm sure you'll see because she's been very needy today, and of course, every week we have a special guest. This week's guest is my good friend DB Cooper, voice actress extraordinaire, director, actor, teacher, creature, as been known. How are you doing, DB?
I'm wicked awesome, and I'm super glad you asked me to be on this program because I miss you.
Yeah, so you are a longtime GDXer. We've known each other for probably close to 15 years. I mean, getting up there. Yeah, I think we're getting
isn't it? We were, it was still the OGDE or whatever it was.
Yeah,
it was,
OGDE. Yeah. So that would have been 2014.
Year.
Yeah, 2014. So we're at 11 years.
Yeah. Time flies, man, when you're having fun.
Yeah. Is that
Hasn't it been fun, though?
Yeah,
but you know what? It's there's just been so much crash and burn and smash and change and stuff, and it's just kind of interesting to have the privilege of being able to observe it.
Yeah.
Even while being in it. Actually, so you and I were talking about, you were listening. I was talking about the last time I had been at the Game Developers Conference, the GDC in San Francisco was 2019. It was before COVID, and so that was my last.
And I think that was my last as well.
Adventure, where I went to do I did a program there for the audio. The audio track has like a quick baby girl, how are you?
She's good.
Nice,
she turned, speaking of getting old, she turned 13 last month.
So. Yeah. She's been part of the Chris Volpe experience forever and a day. That's so nice.
Totally. So I don't know. I don't know if you've followed. This is off the thing, but I am currently exploring. I don't have any of my things. Currently exploring running for Senate to replace JD Vance's seat in Ohio, and I don't have.
I would move to Ohio just to vote for you.
Okay, I'll put that on my website. But I have.
Wow.
I was trying to find like a photo or whatever to put on some flyers, so I could kind of. I've been doing this thing where I've been going to the protests and doing these community events where I just sort of set up and have people come and talk and chat about what's on their mind. And I was like, well, I need some kind of photo or whatever. And I was like, I don't really have any good photos. The best photo I had was me holding Baby. So there's a photo of me and Baby on my campaign stuff.
So man, you can't beat a man who loves dogs, can you? Seriously, you need to know there's a soul in there somewhere. And a great, big, rugged guy holding a little pretty doggy is about as charming as it gets.
She's a sweetie. There's another protest tomorrow, and I might bring her if it doesn't rain. But it's been raining a lot in Columbus. But yeah, GDC, we haven't had you out to GX in a while. Hopefully we can remedy that at some point.
I ended up employed by ZeniMax Online. So the last time I saw you, I had that job. So it must have been, was it the fall of 2021? Because that's when I got the job. And I remember being able to tell some of our composer friends that I was going to be working with ESO. And so I think the last time I saw you must have been 2021.
Okay.
If that is possible. Yeah.
That makes sense. That works.
When GDX was still combined with Origins. And I drove out.
Oh, that's right. Right. Yeah.
From Maine. So I live in Maine, and my younger son was with me. I either drove that time or we flew that time. Can't remember. But he is a gamer, old school gamer, and he was just absolutely smitten with all of the offerings at GDAX plus your partner. And we've got a different partner this year it's not Origins, it's another partner.
So last year was our first year back by ourselves after Origins. And we kind of did that where, we enjoy working with Origins, but for those of you in the gaming industry, June is just the worst fucking month to do anything in gaming. That's where E3 used to be. IGN has their Summer of Games. Now Jeff Keighley's doing a Summer of Games thing. And so just for example, the last year we did it with Origins in June, was that 2023? Yeah. In June alone, there was a PlayStation showcase, an Xbox showcase, a Nintendo week during our week, IGN Summer of Games. I think Kotaku was doing something and Jeff Keighley was doing something. It's just like everybody in the video game space is doing that. So trying to get speakers to come out, trying to get exhibitors to come out June was just not going to work for us. So we went back to our fall. This year we're a little early. We're September 4th through 7th. I generally like to be mid-September to mid-October, but you got to take what you can get sometimes, But yeah, I'm excited. This year's partner is Korgs, and they are Ohio's, I believe, oldest retro gaming kind of conference. And they had trouble getting they had a space, and then through some scheduling stuff, it kind of got screwed up. And I was like, hey, we've got some space if you want to come join us. And so, we'll do it this year. I don't know if it'll be something we do.
That's magnanimous of you. What the hell? What a nice thing. I think that, what a nice, wonderful, collegial pairing that is, because that's going to pull in people who are interested in retro gaming as its own space for sure. My son is a guy who does reviews comparing versions of old games, and he's got on his YouTube Guptal89 is his YouTube channel, and he's just got massive amounts of content comparing versions of games, reviewing old games, does it hold up today, that kind of stuff. He's not going to be playing Red Dead Redemption anytime soon. I know that's not necessarily new, but he's in there playing like all of the versions of Tomb Raider these days.
Okay.
Awesome. Cool. Whatever floats your boat. Thank goodness, Yep.
Oh, we're kind of getting off the beaten path here, even though we didn't really have a path to begin with. But
is there a path?
Yeah, I watch a lot of like YouTube and streamers for video games and movies, and I like particularly watching younger folks, just to see sort of what they think about games. And sometimes they'll go back. Like one of the streamers I'm trying to pull out this year, she went and played Chrono Trigger on the Super Nintendo, like the Super Nintendo version on the Super Nintendo.
Sure. On the Super Nintendo, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's like my favorite. Chrono Trigger is like my favorite game. And so I watched her play that. And it was just cool watching people experience some of the older games. And back when they were like kind of a little bit weirder and funkier. And, we didn't really know what we were doing. We were just trying new ideas. And so, yeah.
You never, Chris, you don't know you're in a golden age when you're in it. You only know it when you look back on it. And so with stuff like Chrono Trigger and the Final Fantasy games and stuff that were coming out then, this epic stuff, when you see it through someone new playing the game, you realize just how unbelievably brilliant an experience it was. So I'm glad you're doing that. It just is such a joy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, people forget that like when Blizzard and Squaresoft used to release like trailers or videos, those were big moments because they were like at the forefront of computer graphics, and like everything they did was always just like, wow, this looks amazing. I'm always a big fan. I know as I get older, I get more curmudgeonly, but I'm a big fan of the saying like everything was better back when everything was worse. I think there's a truth to that.
there was an innocence to it. I think what it was is we didn't have such lofty expectations and we weren't so ready to complain. I think we were grateful and happy that there was a new Name Your Franchise this year. You only had to wait 2 years for the next Final Fantasy to come out. Maybe not 2 years, but 5.
There were no Steam wish
7.
lists with 400 games on them. Like you'd play like a game. Maybe if you were lucky, you would get a new game every month. Maybe, and so you would play that thing into the ground. And oh, the glory.
I was listening to. I can't remember. Maybe it was. There, do you know who Wes Johnson is? He's an actor who's in the Skyrim, ZeniMax, Elder Scrolls universe, and he's some really famous characters like Sheogorath and Hermaeus Mora. And he was talking about playing the games himself, and he mentioned 700 hours. And I thought, okay, that trumps mine. It used to be when you played 200 hours on a game, you were like, whoa, hardcore, what a completionist. And it's like, now, the content is so rich and full of surprises. And the worlds are open and everything is in like, so much of it is in 3-dimensional space that you can just keep exploring. Look what you find.
So I just finished a couple months ago. I play Cyberpunk usually once a year. I have according to PlayStation, I have 293 hours in that. If you go down to Path of Exile, I have 1,458 hours in that game.
Oh my god!
I know. I bet if I looked up my World of Warcraft, it's probably even worse. It's probably a lot sadder.
Oh, probably. As long as it's taking cumulative. You know, the game I keep returning to is Persona 5.
Yep.
I got the Steelbox Persona 5 when it was released. The first Persona 5. And then when Persona 5 Royal, are you looking for it, you son of a gun?
Yeah, I'm seeing if I still have my box over there somewhere.
Oh, heck, I've got it. It's in the other room. But but then when Persona 5 Royal came out, and I started looking at what people were saying about it. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. I am absolutely getting this game. Even though I have already played it, I will literally buy the entire game again just so I can get this expanded content. And what it did was it made me feel like I was going home again, kind of. It's my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And those, I get very romantic about it. The feeling of belonging in a game is, if it's not a selling point overtly, it's a selling point covertly. I think that if anybody who is working in marketing is smart, they're going to recognize how we feel when we're fully immersed in a game. We want it to feel like our home, even if it's, even if you're playing, the game, Marvel games with Venom in there, it's your city.
Sure.
It's where you belong and you're choosing to spend time there. The thing, as a director, as someone who has been working in-house for 3.5 years with ZeniMax, I realize what the sacred trust is between developers and players, and it's something that I think needs to be quantified more specifically, and that is the fact that people who choose to play our games.
You want treat time? I'm listening. She's bugging me about treat time, so you're very special to be part of treat time.
I'm an honored character. When people are choosing to spend their time in the company of our characters, in the worlds that we create, that's the sacred trust I'm talking about. Because
absolutely,
you've got people who are working 8-10 hours a day, and they take what few moments they have at the end of their day, or time on their weekend, to join us in the stories we tell. We only have so many minutes on the planet, Chris. We don't, it's a finite amount of it's a finite resource. Yeah, and when people are
people
choosing,
keep telling me.
but when people are choosing to spend 1,000 hours. When people are choosing to spend those minutes and hours in the company of a story that we're telling, we have to understand that on the outset. It is an honor for us as game makers.
For sure.
And that's my job, is to make sure that their gaming experience is authentic and immersive and embracing. Even if we're beating you up and killing you in the process, we want to make sure that it's something that's enjoyable for you and is saturatingly satisfied. That's my job. Yeah, that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I sort of, as I kind of get older and my time begins to, I just don't have time to play stuff anymore. I'm looking for, I don't know, interesting, weird, cool experiences. I'd rather play something that's maybe a little funky around the edges or whatever, maybe a little broken, than something that's just kind of like mundane and boring. Like there doesn't seem to be any real care or whatever into it. And so some of my favorite games, like
new chapter of N, here you go, same story kind of thing.
Yeah,
or same mechanics.
They've gone a long way at Cyberpunk, for example, but I played that when it first came out, and that was like a broken fucking mess. And even then, it would crash every 30 minutes, like on the dot. Like I'd have to prepare myself to make sure I could save as I got close to that 30-minute mark. But you could tell there was something in there, like it had a soul. It was trying to say something. Like the people that created it, like they wanted something, and they were really working hard to get it. It's just that game came out too early. And so it's same with movies. Like I'd rather watch a movie that's, at least trying to do something interesting. Maybe that doesn't stick doesn't stick the landing or whatever. But there's just so much content out there.
Yeah, there is so much content. Not me and movies. We are not. I am not like that. As a director, I have to. So one of the things that happens for me, because I'm a director as well as an actor, but mostly a director, seriously, I'm always looking at things from a theatrical or a cinematic framework. Mm-hmm. And so when I see things like discontinuities or whatever, if I'm at home, I'm calling them out.
Oh, sure.
Like, script supervisor.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Discontinuity.
I notice all those things, yeah.
I have to I have a theater personality, which is absolutely quiet when I'm watching a film, unless we're cheering for The Rock or something like that, because you have to cheer when The Rock is on screen. But at home, I will shout a lot when I see troubles, camera two. Or boom in the shot, or any of that kind of stuff. I'm going to call this stuff out. So that's my curmudgeonliness. Sure. And I don't enjoy going to the movies to see something that's not, I expect a polished product when I go to the movies.
Totally.
Dude, unless we're, it's Columbus Film Festival and it's local people, I will eat that up, man.
Yeah.
I want to see what's happening. That's when I have an absolutely open mind on that. I'm not going to be mad about anything when people are taking the time to make movies. But if it's a studio release, you better give me something awesome. I haven't been to the movie in eons. I just don't have the bandwidth for it, right? Because I've been working for ZeniMax as a dev, as a VO supervisor for the last 3.5 years, and actually Friday is my last day because I'm going to be doing more my VO. The VO side of my life, the voice acting side, is kind of clamoring, and so I need to pay attention to it.
Yeah, that's exciting. I remember when you got the job, I forget exactly how you phrased it, but you almost had this look. You're like, well, I got a real big boy job now. I have to go. Yeah. And there was a little solemnness in it, but.
Well, because I've been a freelancer for more than 20 years. And so that's what I'm used to. And so the idea of joining a company in-house was like going to Finland. I mean, it's something so foreign.
Sure.
And so different. And boy, what a ride. It has just been grand. Really. And I've gotten a chance to work with so many wonderful actors and writers that is just
That's great.
Supremely excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just what a wonderful experience it's been. I am going to really enjoy having my time back, though, to be honest, even if it means I'm not. Somebody said, "What? Can't stand that constant paycheck really getting you down, huh?" So
I know, it's weighing your bank account down.
Yeah, darn it. But that's really not the point.
Sure.
The point is the projects that I have in mind, and some of it involves other media. Actually, I wake up in the morning and there are musical things that are also going like this.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Logic Pro and I are great friends. So
okay. I have recently experienced a musical renaissance as well. I'm taking guitar lessons. I'm gonna start taking piano lessons.
Good for you.
Yeah. So I'm trying to do some new things in the music space as well. I feel you. My wife and I always joke that I think I'm kind of unemployable because I've been out of the corporate setting for so long now.
So long.
That the idea of I work a lot. I've got 5 jobs and I'm constantly doing stuff. Yeah. But a lot of times I'm just sitting in my PJs in my house doing whatever. The idea of having to drive downtown in traffic to be somewhere, I'm just I don't want to do that.
The thing is, for me, the thing that made me sad about the setup was it's all work. It was a combination of work from home or you could work at the studio. And after COVID, and the studio is down in Maryland. It's
okay.
North
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought they were down
Hunt Valley, and they've got just a lovely space there. But during COVID, all the audio guys went home. Everybody did. They had to work from home. And so all of this, they all had their own studios and stuff set up at home. So even when it was back to work, it was back to work and then Omicron hit. So everybody had to wait. And then when the April, there's your kitty. When the April date came around to invite people back, they went, if you're at home and it's working, you can stay at home. And so
nice.
when I would go down to the office, I would drive down there. It's an 8-hour drive, and I wanted to see people, but the audio people were never there, Chris. Nobody from the audio department. I'd go down and I'd see the animators and some of the writers. And sometimes my boss would come in from Pennsylvania and we'd be in the office together. But it was still a ghost town, and that's the nature of hybrid. So
sure.
Yeah. I need people, actually. And so that's why I miss GDEX, frankly, as a chance to be with my Columbus peeps.
Well,
I miss you guys.
We love you. We always we've got I think Caleb from the chat mentioned that he always loved your GDEX sessions. So
I've got some dandy ones, I've got to tell you. So I would love to. We need to talk, you and I, because I've got my curricula have changed with my time in corporate America and doing lots of content. ESO releases stuff 4 times a year.
Oh wow!
And those are grueling deadlines, and I've learned a thing or two through the graces of my employment there. And I have to ask how much I can share because I've got some ideas, man.
Well, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
So were you doing voice work as well as directing on those projects? Sometimes. Okay.
But I would do sometimes. Mostly it was preparing scripts. We got a chance to play the game thoroughly. Then we would prepare scripts. And there's kind of a bespoke method to that, or that's a method that is very specific for ESO, which I am hoping I can share, because it's really good. Then we will direct sessions. Sometimes the sessions are, we've got 2 weeks of sessions. When we do our first project of the year, there's 4 to 5 weeks of daily sessions. And so it's a lot of talent. It's a lot of directing. And sometimes there are NPCs and small roles that either just couldn't fit casting for anybody else, or somebody was unable to finish a session sometimes, or any of those kinds of things. I would bat cleanup for the women.
Okay.
So I would have, anywhere between, 5 and 100 lines in any given game.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. So you still get to do that work.
Sure. I loved it.
Sure.
Yep. It's like, can you do this one because you just need fill in these lines. Great, sure, yes, of course I can.
Yeah.
And I was hoping, that was kind of one of the assets I brought to it because it's a union game. I'm a union actor, and it's part of my job.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I know we're a little tight on time. You wanted to make it a shorter one, so I don't know if I want to dive into unions and SAG after or anything like that at this juncture.
Yeah. I think you really don't, because I am a contentious person to talk to about the actors union and how they deal with voice actors. I've been out of it, out of the general rough and tumble for enough years so that I actually can't speak with confidence about what's happening right now with the strike. So I only know how it affected me for my casting and how we had to set things up for the actors to be comfortable and confident working for us.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, if you want to have a discussion in general about the actors union and stuff, that is a topic for another day, and it'll fill an hour.
Okay.
With no effort at all.
Yeah,
so, I'm glad to talk to you about it.
Yeah, totally. I'd love to sometime. Just with all the layoffs and stuff going on in the industry in general, and just like it's wild times out there right now. I'm sure.
I recently did a talk where someone asked me about AI. And I mentioned that, AI is valuable for the bottom end of stuff. There's always a bottom end of VO. Every time technology changes, the bottom drops. USB microphones, the bottom dropped. Everybody suddenly is a voice actor. Great, go nuts. And it's the value of what's good enough. Right now, AI is filling that.
Okay.
So the actors who were swimming in the Fiverr and Craigslist pool have discovered the distress of losing their hegemony over the jobs that they were doing. AI's got that stuff now because AI's good enough. I hear it in commercials all the time, in podcasts and stuff. You'll hear it in NPR. I hear it in NPR podcasts. Not fond of it.
Yeah.
But I will. Do I worry for my job? Not at all.
Okay. Well, that's good.
You can turn up the emphasis, and you can turn up the emotion, and you can change the different algorithms and everything, but AI will never have a memory to draw from.
Okay. I hope you are correct. We are thinking about having one of our themes this year at GDEX be around AI, because there's no way around it. Obviously, we get a lot of artists and creatives that are significantly worried about what that's going to look like for them in the future, and with what's going on with like the Department of Education and our universities and stuff, even figuring out what we should be learning for the future is a whole other thing. But once we walk through that door, DB, I have a feeling you and me would be talking quite a bit. And I know, I know that you have to head off. So is there any last things you want to talk about before we wrap up?
Before we say goodbye, I hope to see you this fall. I want to make sure that I can put my ducks in a row and have some decent programs for the people who come to GDEX. I love Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, look at that.
I love
You're
that town.
you're just a great advocate all around. Thank you.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what I want to say. That's what I want to say.
okay, awesome. Well, we'll talk offline on what we can potentially figure out for this year. I'm super glad that you were able to carve out a little time to join me on the podcast today. So thank you for that, DB.
Sure.
And of course, you know
My
I love
pleasure.
you, and hopefully get to see you in a couple of months. So good luck with your last 3 days at ZeniMax.
That's right. We're cranking it out. I've got a deadline, so I do have to go.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you being here, DB. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks for asking me. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, y'all. On the chat, that was a great conversation. I know it was a little shorter than what we normally do, but like she said, she's got like hair on my face. She has got to get her stuff done before she moseys off of the ZeniMax prairie. So that was exciting to have her. Yeah, I'm seeing some comments. Yeah, some of her sessions. I know one of the big ones, the Fight Club voice acting, like how to do voice acting for fight scenes, was always a super well attended talk. So hopefully we can get her back. We've got another voice actor we're talking to as well that potentially they both know each other, DB and this other guy. So maybe we can bring some other voice actors back and do something cool for the show this year. So yeah, don't forget also for GDEX, www.thegdex.com. We have our volunteer applications are out, and then we also still have exhibitor applications and speaker applications. Speaker/experience applications are still open. We'll begin probably in late May, early June to start assigning those. So a lot of stuff going on this year. Hopefully we can all kind of hold hands together and have each other's back and get through these tight times. I don't know if there's anything in chat that anyone wants to talk about before we end episode 63 here. Let's see, there's a whole bunch of... Let me get caught up on chat real fast. Yeah. So it looks like good. So yeah, this has been episode 63 of the Sandbox.Space weekly podcast. Thanks so much to DB for being here. Of course, you can find us every week on twitch.tv/thegdex at 10 a.m. Eastern. And then we have gotten the Sandbox.Space's YouTube channel up and running. So I have been slowly moving. All of the new episodes are being put onto there. And then I've slowly been taking the old episodes and putting them onto that channel as well. So, but that's going to take a while considering we have 63 of them. But it will be our repository if you want to go back and watch any of the old episodes and whatnot. So, yeah. I guess thank you to everybody in chat for being here, and I think that's all we got. So on behalf of myself, Baby Girl, who's over there, Pumpkin, who's also over there, and our special guest, DB Cooper, as well as everybody from the chat, I want to thank you, and we will see you next week.